on this episode of The Twisted Realm.
We've made our way back over to the Exchange Hotel in Gordonsville, Virginia. We brought Team Twisted here to investigate the 3 different buildings that are located on this property. Behind me is building number 1, the Exchange Hotel, which also served as a Civil War hospital. Behind me we have the summer kitchen, also known as the slave quarters here on the property. During the Civil War, Major Richards used it as his quartermaster. He's a very dominant male spirit that lives on the 2nd floor. Right across from him is another very dominant spirit. She's the mistress of the night, Miss Olivia. And behind us, we have the infamous depot. This is probably one of the darkest locations on this property. Right beside me, we have tracks. This is where the train would stop, unload the wounded, and unload the bodies, which a lot were stacked just inside this building. Over our many investigations that we've done here, this is probably one of the darkest spots that we have ever done as far as investigating goes. So we're looking forward to getting into this tonight. So here we are in Gordonsville, Virginia, to investigate the 3 different buildings on this property: the Exchange, the summer kitchen, and the depot itself. All of this we're bringing to you on another exciting episode of The Twisted Realm.
In this world of the unknown, is there a realm between life and death? Join us as we travel up and down the East Coast, researching and investigating many locations with claims of paranormal activity.
Gotta get closer than that. Oh my Lord.
What the?
We are believers.
Glad to see you.
Good job.
Yay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hey, Lyle.
Come back down and look at that stuff on the bench there. If you actually touch them, they'll light up for us.
We are seekers of the truth.
Hey,
Boom.
Grandpa,
Let me get that thing going.
look at that thing. That thing.
We are the Twisted Paranormal Society. And this is The Twisted Realm. Over the years, as we have traveled Route 15 to the Exchange Hotel Civil War Museum, you get the feeling that you are entering sacred, hallowed grounds, which lead you towards the Crossroads of War, Gordonsville, Virginia. The history of Gordonsville dates back to 1787, when Nathaniel Gordon first purchased 1,350 acres, of which was known as Newville at the time, from a relative of President James Madison. In 1794, he applied for and was granted a license to operate a tavern, which at the time would be used as a place to eat, lodge guests, and to discuss town business. In 1839, the Louisa Railroad was granted licensing to construct a railway from Gordonsville to Richmond. In 1840, the property was sold to Richard Omohundra, but who better to continue this historical adventure than Angel May, the administrator of the Exchange Hotel and Civil War Museum.
My name is Angel May, and I am the administrator of the Exchange Hotel Civil War Medical Museum. I am also the vice president of the board of directors of Historic Gordonsville Incorporated, which owns and operates the Exchange Hotel Civil War Medical Museum. I want to share a little bit of the history with you of the museum. It was actually purchased by Richard Omohundra of Fluvanna County in 1840. It was actually a tavern up until 1859, when there was a fire in the summer kitchen, and the embers came over and hit the tavern and actually burnt it to the ground. When Mr. Omohundra rebuilt, he actually rebuilt the building as a hotel. The reason he did so is because there were railroad tracks that were brought here in 1840 with the Louisa Railroad, and then by 1854 the Orange and Alexandria tracks were brought here as well. and people needed lodging. And so that's why he rebuilt it as a hotel instead of a tavern. And he called it the Exchange Hotel because you would have to exchange trains to get to your next leg of travel. It was operated as such up until the Civil War. When the First Battle of Manassas broke out is when the Confederates came in and took the building and property over, and they actually used it as a hospital. It was called the Gordonsville Forwarding and Receiving Hospital, and it was used as such until the end of the Civil War. We treated 70,000 troops here over the course of the war, with a little over 700 deaths here. It was operated by South Carolinian doctors. They were the best doctors in the field at that time. It was used as the hospital up until the end of the war, when it was actually occupied by the Union troops. They came in to burn the building down, and the only thing that saved it was the fact that we had 11 Union soldiers still being treated here. And so they couldn't burn down a building with their men in it, so they actually came in and occupied it and used it as a Freedmen's Bureau. The Freedmen's Bureau was an institution that was put together by the federal government during the Reconstruction period for the newly freed slaves. And this is where the newly freed slaves were able to come and get an education. They got health care, and they also adjudicated court cases because now they were free. They were able to fight for things that they thought were just, and we have different cases that were actually adjudicated here at the hotel.
We wanted to speak with different people to see what they would consider to be their best paranormal experience at the Exchange Hotel.
One of our most memorable experiences here concerning the paranormal was back in September of 2015. I was actually out of town at a paranormal conference, and I had a part-time student that works here for me on the weekends. And she was playing with her phone, sitting at the register all by herself, not a soul in the house. And she caught from the corner of her eye what she thought was the postcard rack moving on its own. So she calls me in a panic, doesn't know what to do. And I explained to her that there's no way I can come and be with her because I'm 8 hours away. And so I actually called one of our board members to come and sit with her, and he did. And they rewound the video because we have video cameras running 24/7 here. And they rewound it and videotaped it and sent it to me. And the postcard rack actually moves all by itself, and you can see that there are a lot of shadows and things and movements when the postcard rack moves by itself. So that was a pretty cool experience.
My name is Rachel Rivers, and I am a member of Twisted Paranormal Society. And my most memorable experience at the Exchange Hotel is when we were in the camera room, where they have all of the cameras that show in every room and in the hallway on the 3rd floor. And I was talking with somebody, and he was talking about how the 3rd floor is really, really active and how you can always feel the heaviness. And right on cue, this orb shows, and it comes up this stairway and comes around into the room, and then it flashes right in front of you. It was just right on cue.
My name's Lyle Lights. I am the co-founder and director of the Twisted Paranormal Society. And probably my most memorable experience here, I've actually had very many experiences here, but probably the one that stands out the most to me would be when it was 4 of us up on the 3rd floor, and we were talking to Emma, and we were calling out to her, asking her to let us know that she was here. And she goes, "Hello." And all 4 of us actually heard it on the floor. So that was probably one of the best experiences that I've had here.
We had a group here on a Saturday night that had rented the location to do an investigation. We were over in the kitchen area in Olivia's room, and the guy was actually rubbing my shoulder and talking to Olivia. Angel was recording with the X-Cam.
Probably want to know what happened to us.
Okay, now, John, you are red, And Missy, you are green and something is dancing on top of your head.
On me.
On top of your head. Its legs are on like where your boobs are. Yeah, and its torso is up where your head is. And it's like going nuts. It looks like it's beating the crap out of your face.
We caught her, Olivia, coming over and pounding on my head with her hands. I had said prior to that I had a headache, and Angel said, you know, she had caught it. So when we went back and reviewed, we had captured her actually on my lap, beating me with her hands.
Recently we came by and we weren't really doing a full investigation, but we went into the depot, and while standing there it got extremely heavy. It pretty much felt like they were surrounding us. We were able to see shadow figures. We were touched. It just felt very like they were very curious as to why we were in there that night.
My name is Ryan Jones. I am host of the Freaking Awesome Paranormal Show on the Vibe Radio Network. One of my favorite experiences here, I was in the depot with a friend of mine, and we caught an EVP, what sounded like a little girl singing, which really kind of creeped me out. I also was able to catch an EVP of a man saying, "Please help me," on there. So I thought those were very interesting.
It is now time for Angel to take the girls on a walk of the grounds to share some of the paranormal occurrences that have taken place over the years. First stop, the hotel itself.
So one time when I was doing a tour here, I actually came up to Dr. Bagby's room and I sat on a chair that was right beside the bed, and I felt like I was communicating with the spirit of a small child. And then all of a sudden, I felt something messing with the right side of my hair. So I just sat there, it kind of freaked me out a little bit, and then all of a sudden, my hair was yanked. That was it. I said, I'm going downstairs. This is the area where there is the claim of a nurse that shot herself. Said that she seen so much that she kind of went crazy, and she took a .45 and shot herself here. And EVPs, it sounds just like a gunshot right here.
How?
Another time as we were doing a night tour here, we were walking up the stairs and we had the voice recorder in our hands, and we caught a really cool EVP. You can hear the footsteps coming up the stairs very clearly, but we didn't hear it with our own ears. When we listened back to the voice recorder, we captured this little girl that was singing and talking in with who is our whistler. We have a guy that's up here on the 3rd floor that whistles Beethoven all the time. So you can hear him whistling, and then you hear her go, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. It was a really clear Class A EVP.
Do you know about how old the little girl is, or her
Yes.
name?
Yes, her name is Emma. We did an EVP session up here after we found her feet prints on the floor here when we were mopping. And we said, who's here with us? And we got the EVP that said Emma. And we said, how old are you, Emma? And she said 7.
As Angel was taking the girls to the summer kitchen, she had to leave and go back to the main hotel to take care of some customers. While waiting in the kitchen area, something started to focus on Merlin. What happened, Merlin?
It felt like it was burning.
Where were you standing at?
Right in the middle of the room.
She was just standing there, and all of a sudden she said, ouch.
Yep.
Got some blood there.
Yeah. She said ouch and walked right to the door to look to see what happened.
What did I do to you people?
I know, I'm shocked because we've been talking about how pretty it is in here.
I know. Maybe they don't like the renovations.
And Rachel said her ear got real hot. Like
Burning.
just hot.
Well, check your ear.
Yeah.
Make sure your ear
It
isn't.
just feels really hot, like it's burning. It doesn't feel like it's been touched or hit or scratched or anything. It just feels really hot. Does it look like anything?
It looks red.
It feels red.
Yeah.
Huh.
And they were
It is.
standing.
And this one's fine. It doesn't feel like anything at all.
Turn it back around again. Yeah, it looks
I
red.
don't know.
It is red.
It didn't
Yeah.
happen until we got in here.
Here she comes.
And so I'll take you guys to Olivia's room and show you and tell you what happened in here too.
Okay. Now, can you tell us a little bit about who Olivia was and how you found out she was here?
Yeah, all through EVPs. And we believe that Olivia was a prostitute here because Gordonsville was the number 2 R&R during the Civil War. Richmond was number 1 and Gordonsville was number 2. And they said that there were 28 brothels here on Main Street.
Wow.
Yeah, 14,000 troops here at any given one time. They need some entertainment. And so we have documentation of a woman that came here to stay with her aunt, and she worked at a brothel here on Main Street. Her name was Olivia Shiflett. And we believe that this building was used as well because it was right next to the hospital. And a few of the EVPs that we captured had her pleasuring a guy. That's the only way I can think of to describe it. So this is Major Richard's room, and he was actually the quartermaster here during the Civil War. A quartermaster had a huge responsibility. He was in charge of unloading the trains. He was also in charge of the personal effects of the soldiers that passed away here. He had to gather everything up and send it back to the families and things like that. I think he's got a bad rap so far. I personally have never had any bad experiences with him in here, but a lot of people have. We've actually seen his full-bodied apparition right here. We captured an EVP of him saying to my son, "Get out of the way, boy," when there was a train coming by. My son was sitting at the top of the stairs when we were doing a public tour. And so we didn't hear it with our ears, but we captured it later. He's usually standing over in the corner of the room, kind of menacing. People are afraid of him, but I don't think it's necessarily because he's a bad guy. I think it's because he's just a responsible person. You know, he was
Very disciplined.
Yes, very
A
disciplined.
lot on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Angel then took the girls to the final location, the depot.
Okay, so we're gonna go in the depot. This is one of the darkest places on the property. It kind of gives me the creeps, I'm not even gonna lie. This is the building that was used to house all of the bodies during the Civil War that arrived on the train. And one of the youngest doctors that was here wrote in his memoirs that they were stacked as high as the rafters like cordwood. So,
Do you know how many bodies there were?
well, at any given one time, you don't know. It depends on, you know, which trains pulled up after which battles. So, you know, you can't really say that there were. But if they were stacked as high as cordwood to the rafters, that's a lot of bodies. Yeah.
And they were just stacked on top of each other?
And I do believe that some of them were actually just unconscious, not dead. You know, how devastating would that be? So this is the freight depot. As you can tell, it's just a big empty shell now. There's a door back here that we believe is where the wagon will pull up and pick up the bodies and take them out to the cemetery to bury them. The main door is here, the little sliding doors. And then this section is where they would have bought the tickets and things like that when it was used as a depot. This building was burnt in July of 1862. Folks First Michigan come in and probed the town and burnt 2 storefronts and 30 feet of our depot here. And so I was out here with a group, and one of the people took a photograph of me. It was back in the corner of the building, and it was the oddest thing. One whole side of my face looked like it was melted, and the other side looked normal.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so I think that that was just their way of showing me that it had been, you know, caught on fire before.
Wow.
This place is pretty creepy. We've got, you know, full-bodied apparitions. We've got full-bodied apparitions up in the rafters.
Do you think there's multiple in here.
Oh,
Multiple
absolutely.
spirits.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's more of a heavy feeling in here.
Mhm.
Yeah. We've got lights on now. I don't like to come out here with the lights off. What's wrong?
I don't know, all of a sudden my left ear started hurting really bad. I can't breathe.
Can you back off from her, please? We just came in here to talk to you, okay? We're not here to harm you, and we appreciate the same,
I don't
okay?
think it's one of the boys.
You okay?
Yeah, it was like my throat closed up.
You need to walk outside?
No,
Okay,
they're moving on.
okay.
It was like I just walked up and bam. I smelled the major for a minute.
Did you?
Did you?
Well, they say he was very tall. Angel said he was very
Horse sweating leather.
You know,
There he is,
I
he's
smell,
strong.
I
There he
smell
is.
the leather.
I do too.
Anything picking up on there?
I think that's doing the same thing.
Major, are you in here working tonight?
He's back, here he comes.
Oh, did you hear that?
He's back, here he comes.
Oh, did you hear that? Oh my gosh.
What?
Someone just touched you?
Yeah. Just caught me off guard.
Somebody touched you?
Yeah, back here, my head.
Come over here.
Who's
Smell
behind
this.
us?
Smell this.
I can feel it. I can feel it.
Did you,
It just got colder.
It did.
Here he is.
Yeah.
Feel it? Feel it? It, huh?
He's like dragged here.
I mean, it's like a chill,
it is, it's
big chill
cold.
right here.
Uh-huh.
Come this way, see if it gets.
Are you showing yourself? Can you come on out from inside there for us?
Oh, he's back.
Come on. You need to do something, let us know you're here.
Someone following Lyle around.
Good, follow me.
Every time you come over this way, it just gets.
At times during our investigations, we like to be creative with ways to help spark possible activity. This time we decided to play some period music to see if we could get them to start responding. All right, Timothy.
That was my chair, I'm just speechless.
Whoa. Okay, I just got chills from one end to the other.
Come on out, front and center.
Wow.
Yeah, big boom. Come on out and enjoy the music with us.
Me?
Come on, let's get a beer. Come on.
Yeah, we'll dance.
We'll dance. I don't know how to dance to
They
this.
just got really excited.
Hey, come on. Come on,
We'll
Richard.
dance. We'll put the recorder down.
They asked if we wanted to dance. But how do you do it?
I don't know.
No.
You gotta teach us.
Wow. Okay, they're real excited now. Okay,
Here.
stand there and see if you get a partner come up.
While the girls were trying to interact with the residents of the depot, you could start to feel a change in the activity taking place.
Someone's reaching down from the rafters and helping them put their fingers on my face, touching my hair. He's back here.
Somebody back there?
Yeah, the major came back here for a little bit.
Would you not like the music, Major? sorry if you didn't. You like to keep things just so, don't you? Keep everybody in line.
What was that?
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 I don't know.
Dang, it sounded like it was outside.
You
It
think?
did, but not far enough to be the road.
Was that,
Railroad track?
was that a major like?
It sounded like a blue.
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, it was right after I was talking about him keeping everybody in line.
Make it all straight up.
Merlin, what's going on back there? Merlin? Hey, Merlin.
I think she's in her zone.
She must be.
Merlin. Can you hear me?
Wow.
What's going on?
I don't know.
I'm watching every move you're making.
It's me walking. What do you mean you don't know?
Somebody around you?
You okay?
I feel hot. It's not very warm in here.
Are they up here around you,
Cold field in here.
Are you?
Yep.
Merlin? Are they up here around you?
You're getting a little bit out of line,
Something?
huh?
You got your guard up, right? That's me.
You need your
No,
maybe straighten
you're
up.
cold. You feel cool.
I'm hot.
You need to sit down?
On that music you want to like?
Why don't you sit down? You need to go on out of here?
Red.
Red?
Red?
Red.
Red what?
I keep seeing the color red. Just red, 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 red.
Be sure to tune in next week as we continue our investigation of the Exchange Hotel Civil War Museum here on the Twisted Realm.